Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So this is a thought that's occurred to me before, but it occurred to me again today, and it may relate to the mental health topic that I've been alluding to or relating to the past couple weeks. It's basically the topic of finding yourself almost in a double bind. By double bind, I mean a double bind of how I should take to criticism, how I should take to my own understanding of my own faults, evaluation thereof. And basically, it's almost like a splitting that doesn't have to do with yourself, but with other people, which usually is what splitting is about, isn't it? Yes, Jillian, that is what it's about usually. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, I actually was not inaccurate to say that splitting is imply that splitting is a common phenomenon that occurs within the self as well as with other people. It says here that it is the failure of a person's thinking to bring together the dichotomy of both positive and negative qualities of the self and others into a cohesive, realistic whole. That is also known as black and white thinking or all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking being a DBT term, namely. And yeah, it seems like I am very quick to take to my successes and triumphs as like, okay, I actually did it this time. There's no need to, you know, belittle it or bemoan it or criticize it. I didn't want to say the S word because I don't want to get demonetized, because that's a concern for me, right? I don't have to get sit on this time. Great. And the paradox of it seems like I have to constantly acknowledge both sides. Like, I often feel like, okay, I had it this time. Let's give it to the world. Maybe someone will appreciate it. And then at the same time, there are people who are very quick to show me what's wrong with my technique, what's wrong with the vagueness of my intention here or my message here, what's wrong with my message here, what's wrong with my intention here, what's wrong with my manner of doing it, you know? There's always someone to say that, and there's always someone to say that with everyone. But for me, it often seems like, okay, I actually do have to listen to them. Even if I fight it off and say like, no, I had it this time, I'm right. There's always something that seeps in afterward that like, holy, they're actually right. And suddenly I have to follow that because otherwise I'm acting irrationally. So now I've waited a few minutes. The lighting's probably a little different. I found that form is a big issue as far as criticism. People tend to criticize me a lot about the form that I have. Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, even with songwriting, it's like, oh, that's so avant-garde, you know? Even if it's simply like, you know, still has 8-bar verse, 4-bar chorus, 8-bar verse, 4-bar chorus, 6-bar, 8-bar, 4-bar bridge, you know? There's still something that seeps in like, oh, that's kind of strange. And granted, it's not bad to be strange, but bear with me here. Sometimes my words, they are considered sort of oddly used, or they present a vague idea or impressionistic. These are often things held against me. Even to separate from music a bit, oftentimes people say that I come on too strong, or or they have said that. They've said that I come on too strong, or have said that I didn't listen properly, or they said that I kind of just imposed my expectations or opinions on them. They've said that I expect them to act a certain way, even though they acted another way. And these are things that everyone does. But with me, it becomes an issue where they seem to have a need to present the fact that I have that flaw, that poor tendency. And so then there's an inner clash because I'm like, okay, this just feels very natural to me to be this way, but they're not taking well to it. Do I have it in me to adapt? I probably do. But then at first it's okay to do that. It's okay to do every while, but then you find it exhausting to do it all the time. You feel like every waking moment, every day of your life is about making sure that you're on the path to modification. And so you never get a chance to just be. Long story short, this relates heavily to the struggle of shifting between I'm a good person, I'm a bad person, they're right, they're wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong. If they're right, I'm wrong. If I'm right, they're wrong mentality. And I think anyone with BPD would relate to this heavily. So if I am imperfect, albeit in describing these things, I think it still shows in my energy through these videos and through the gist of what I'm saying that, it shows what this is that I've been going through, what I have experienced, and hopefully that connects to someone out there. So, like, for instance, as far as singing, I've always thought, oh, I have flaws as a singer, that means I'm a bad singer. I have an inferior larynx, then. I have inferior mindset for a singer. And it really just means I need to put work in. As far as academia, I've always thought in the way of, like, IQ and personality traits, and that, like, okay, so this class isn't working out, or this homework I did not do well at on the first go. This must mean I'm a bad student, or that this isn't for me. It just means that I need to put the work in, or that that's not bad. It just means that I need to put the work in, or it means that I need to find something else. It's a matter of choice, really. If you feel like you're not good at this, but you're interested in it and you would like to learn it, you always have the opportunity to do that. If you feel as though this is hard for you to do and you're not really taking well to it, and it makes you feel sad about yourself because you're trying this hard, and maybe it takes time, maybe it means that you need to reevaluate yourself, and maybe you need to reevaluate how you're going about things. But it also just means that you're not attuned to that for now. Maybe you'll be in the future, maybe you're not right now. Maybe you won't ever be. And I think I often had this mentality of, like, I had trouble accepting myself for who I am. I had trouble accepting myself for being trans. I had trouble accepting myself for being gay. Had trouble, like, a lesbian. Had trouble accepting myself for being, even black. Not even just these things, but, like, had trouble accepting myself for being smart. Had trouble accepting myself for being an imperfect vocalist. Had trouble accepting myself for having an avant-garde style. Had trouble accepting myself for being somebody who stands out. Had trouble accepting myself as even a beautiful person, as a beautiful woman, as a handsome man, as these things, as everything I was. Had trouble accepting myself for having anger issues, like anything about me. I had trouble accepting about myself. Had trouble accepting myself about, my work ethic, and that it's not the greatest and it's not the worst. These all seemed to be hard for me to accept. And I think that it shows in my my hardness to accept criticism and hardness to understand criticism without shame. Now, granted, I'm better at this now than I was before, much better now than I was before. Shame is much less prevalent in me when I get criticized. I understand that I have a road to take, and that this is just a means for me to find betterment and to actually enjoy what comes out of me more. There are moments, though, where it is inopportune or ill-fitting to criticize oneself, or to focus on criticism as the main evaluator of what to do next, or what to do while working on a project. For instance, this video, I'm not going to try to, force myself into a critical eye as far as it. Although my instinct is to, deeply assess what I'm doing at any moment, which is probably to my slight disadvantage. But sometimes you just have to allow it to come out and just be. You can't always be like, okay, I should be this way, I should be this high up, I should be this gentle, I should be this bold, You have to just let it happen. In the end, you have to just let it happen because that's how things work.